Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. LeAnn Rimes performs live tonight at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. I spoke with Rimes when she performed with the NSO Pops at the Kennedy Center back in 2017. LeAnn, thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you.
The NSO has done some of these cool shows. It's a new thing they've been doing, and I mean, it's ranged all genres. They had Boys to Men recently. They've done Kendrick Lamar, Nas, and now we're going a little country with this. I love the idea. Tell me how cool it's going to be to, be up there with this orchestra behind you. It's got to be epic.
It is epic. I think that's actually a great word for it. I've played with the symphony many times, but I don't get to do it as often as I would like. I've done symphony tours where we do like a couple weeks, but it's such an epic experience, because there's so much. It just takes and adds another, level of excitement and beauty and, just emotion to the performance. So, once you have that experience, it's something that you want more often. I guess for me it is. And so it's, it'll be a beautiful night. It's always just, I get really moved by it, so I think that just translates over and to the audience and the performance and everything.
How does it work rehearsal-wise? Obviously you said you've done it with orchestras before, but
Yeah.
do you meet with the conductor, ahead of time, or you wait till you get to DC, or how does that work?
No, I'll go in probably for about half an hour, because we play about half of the show with symphony and half without.
Okay.
So I have a band leader that goes in, and he talks to them beforehand. We have charts that have been written out long ago that the symphony has beforehand too, and so he'll go in a few hours before me and on the day of show and run the whole thing with the symphony and make sure all of that is in place, and then I'll come in and run what I need to run, and then we're good to go.
Awesome. What can we expect to hear? Is it any of your newer stuff, a little of the hits, a little of both?
You hear a little bit of everything. My show, I used to go by a set list, like strictly by a set list, and with the symphony it's a little more defined, but
right.
It still changes from night to night. No, I don't think we've done a show that's actually been the same this year, which has been great. I love to kind of mix it up. So yeah, we play the hits. I play some new stuff. Some of the hits actually, I've been singing these songs for some of them for like 20 years.
Since you were age 11.
Yes, exactly. So, so some of them we've kind of played around with this year and changed the arrangement of a few songs, and they're really beautiful. I'm moved, and really, I connect with these songs, I think, deeper now than with the arrangement changes than I have in a long time. So if you've been to a show before, you'll hear the songs, that but they'll be a little bit different. And I think, people that we played them for have really been falling in love with them. So it's a really fun show this year.
Awesome. Let's move a little chronologically through them a little, if you don't mind. I remember. I was a little kid. I was probably about your age when it happened, but I remember when you first came out around when you were age 11, and everyone was blown away by Blue. The way you moved your voice up and down, it was amazing. Take me back to that sort of whirlwind experience of bursting on the scene.
Oh God, I don't think I remember it. I was so young. I really was. No, I signed my deal when I was 11, and Blue came out. I was 13 when Blue came out, and we just celebrated actually the 20th anniversary. It happened so fast. I mean, we went from 0 to 60 in like not even in a millisecond. It was insane. And so it was, as a kid, I don't think anybody can tell you. No one can tell an adult how to deal with that, much less a kid. But it was everything that I could have dreamt of at the time, and everything else that I had, no idea that was coming. And it's been quite the ride, quite the 20 years, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of people have compared it to, I remember Tanya Tucker when she burst on the scene with Delta Dawn. That was, she was really young too. But yours, that sort of idea, but in the 90s. What do you think? I mean, that song's probably going to go down as one of the greatest ever. I think it's been voted as such as well by some of the lists. Why do you think that connects so well?
I don't know. I think it was a multitude of different things, that kind of came together to make that. And, I think being so young and my voice and the fact that I did this yodel thing that was different than what people were hearing at the time. Also 90s country at that time was this was really traditional for where the genre was at the time.
Right.
It reminded people of Patsy Cline and, so many different things that just kind of came together with that song to make it so special. I honestly, I love singing that song. I don't get tired of singing it. I think I have just such a great appreciation for where it took me to. So, it is one of the greatest. I have to say, it's just something magic about that.
How did you learn to sing like that? You had to have just been born with that.
Yeah, I think it's a gift. I never took voice lessons. I grew up, my dad has tapes of me singing when I was like 18 months old. Full on could sing. You couldn't understand a word I was saying when I was speaking, but when I was singing, it was like I had this otherworldly thing come out of me.
It was Baby Blue was your first
Baby
song.
Blue, yes.
And now you're Royal Blue. All right, cool. Well, I mean, right after that, I mean, you had you rattled off a couple. I loved your Unchained Melody too. But I mean, the next big hit was How Do I Live? I know Trisha Yearwood had a version of that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I think yours just took it, knocked it out of the park.
Saying that because I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah, if I was interviewing Trisha, and Garth was standing there staring at me, I'd probably say the other.
You might say something different.
Did hers come out first or yours?
That's such a funny story. I actually recorded that song for the soundtrack for oh my God, what's the name of the movie? Con Air. Thank you.
Oh wow, Con Air.
Yeah, I recorded it for the soundtrack, and then there was a bunch of. Basically, I'm not going to bore you with the whole story, but there was a bunch of just kind of politics and craziness and BS. And mine ended up not going in the film, and Diane Warren, who wrote the song, had actually said, this is your song whether or not it went in the film or not. And mine ended up not going in film, and they had Trisha record it, and hers went in the film, and hers was released basically at the same time. And it was kind of this, like I said, it had nothing to do with Trisha and me. Absolutely, I love her to death. It had everything to do with this crazy business, and we both had hits with it, and so it is, and who cares now?
It's such a powerful song, though. I mean, why do you think people love it so much?
Oh my God, it's the most beautiful, heartbreaking power ballad, So I think people instantly related to. They could play that. They could play that anything. They could play that at a wedding. They could play that at a funeral. They could play it. God, it just related to people's lives in such a way that was really powerful.
Yeah, definitely. We don't have to go through all of them because I know we're up against the clock. But Can't Find the Moonlight. I mean, Nothing But Love makes. I mean, there's so many. But I guess one more we'll go into. I Need You. That one just is like a goosebump one.
Thanks.
Why do you think that one caught on so fast?
Well, that was kind of that was actually attached for me to this. It was a film, a Jesus miniseries that was going on at the time, and that song I think people related to in so many different ways, whether if it was a love song or if it was from a spiritual point of view. It really connected with people on so many different levels. I mean, I think that's what the greatest songs do. I mean, they tell so many different stories. People can relate stories of their lives, their specific story to it, and so it becomes this kind of very kind of worldwide perspective. It's not so specific to one specific story, but people really can find themselves in their stories within it. So.
Yeah. What are you listening to these days? What's on LeAnn Rimes' playlist, country or otherwise?
I don't even know what I'm listening to these days. I listen to everything. I really do. Hold on. I have to look here to see what I'm listening to.
There you go. Pull up the iPod right now.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm listening to a lot of Jack White lately. I love the new Beyonce record.
You said Jack White?
Yeah, I love Jack White.
You're an Icky Thump.
Oh, yes. Mumford & Sons. What else am I listening to?
Cool. Well, you mentioned just piggybacking off that. I won't make you go through your whole iPod. I'll spare you. You mentioned sort of how back then when you first came on the scene, country was sort of in a more traditional place, and now everybody's gone country, as Alan Jackson said. What's your sort of take on how it's evolved over the last, I guess, 20 years since you really came on?
I mean, I think it's great that it's definitely become more of a mainstream, kind of vibe, and people it's getting into so many different countries and different hands, and I do personally miss the old school country music.
Me too.
I miss that. That's what I grew up on, and I love it so much. And it's nice to hear people kind of dabble in that every once in a while. That will always be my favorite. But I do think that it's nice that it's being more accepted, I think, worldwide these days, and country music is kind of, really, like I said, become kind of a worldwide thing, which is great.
Yeah. Who were some of those old school ones, that predated you that maybe your parents or grandparents listened to?
Oh, God, I listened to Hank Williams and Merle Haggard and Patsy Cline and Dolly Parton and...
Who did you sing in the bathroom mirror when you were singing growing up and singing Into the Comb? What did you sing?
Oh, everybody. I mean, I grew up, listening to Patsy Cline and Barbra Streisand and Judy Garland and Whitney Houston and Reba and, Janis Joplin. It was really, it was so across the board for me.
And now a whole new generation of young girls and guys grew up singing your stuff. So
Cool.
It's really awesome. Well, I think you're one of the legends. So thanks so much for taking the time. We can't wait to see you at Kennedy Center. It's going to be awesome.
Come out. It's going to be a beautiful show.
Emil DeCou will be conducting you. We've interviewed him a ton, so he's great. It's going to be awesome. So everybody, it's LeAnn Rimes with the NSO Pops. Get your tickets now. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for joining us on Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time. I wanted to take a second to tell you about an app I really enjoy. Living in the DC area is great, and Podcast DC gathers all of the local shows that I like all in one local app. Health, sports, local news, politics, and so much more. Podcast DC is the new local app with hundreds of DC area podcasts to choose from. I can earn exciting rewards just for listening and share the podcasts I love instantly. Available in the App Store or in Google Play, listen local with Podcast DC.